Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Timestamps are down in the description box below if you want to go forward into the Smackdown review. I'm not even going to talk about wrestling. I'm going to talk about wrestling, but in terms of something that's a little bit different than the news, how I usually start off in the intro, I'm not trying to gatekeep. I promise you, I'm not trying to gatekeep on professional wrestling, but I can relate to you guys because we're all wrestling fans, die-hard wrestling fans in the end of the day. Look, this is just my opinion. If I'm not familiar with a subject, I try my very best to stay out of it. I will be the first one to say, I'm not sure, I don't know. Whenever someone talks to me about football, I stay out of it. Someone talks to me about basketball, I stay out of it. People talk to me about anime. It depends on the anime cartoon itself, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not equipped to talk about it. What I hate is when, and look, I don't want to sound like I have a big head, but again, you guys can relate. For the most part, I will say that we're all pretty decent experts when it comes to our wrestling history, right? I hate it when you talk to non-wrestling fans or casual wrestling fans who haven't watched the product in a couple of years, or even people who just they tip their feet in, they know the big stars. You talk to random people, they'll tell you, oh yeah, I know Hogan, I know Savage, I know Andre, I know Austin, I know Rock, I know Taker, I know John Cena. Okay, that's cool. You know all these people, but then you talk to them and they will argue you to death about a subject, and it's like, bro, do you know who you're talking to right now? I'm not trying to, again, I don't want to sound like I'm being a narcissist here. It's just again, you don't know anything about the topics you're discussing. Don't talk to me about topics. I had to drop a link to this cat, bro. I got into a full, it wasn't even that long. It took 3 posts because I was trying to see what the fuck was he talking about. I had this dude legitimately argue me to death that, oh no, The Undertaker was in the match with Owen Hart when he ziplined down, when Owen passed away. And he's arguing me to death. He's like, no, bro, it was The Undertaker in the ring. I'm like, nah, bro, it was The Godfather. He was supposed to wrestle The Godfather that night. And I'm like, where are you getting your information from? He's like, bro, how are you going to tell me I'm a wrestling fan? I'm like, bro, how are you going to tell me I run a wrestling channel? What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, bro, I'm not going to keep going back and forth for you. And then I was trying to see if he was trolling. I was like, where are you getting your information from? And then he dropped me this link to this channel. I just watched it right now, bro. It's this channel called, hang on, I'll let you know right now. I actually subscribed to them. I listened to him because I actually liked their videos, but they were dead wrong about this. They're called the Weird History Channel. And he dropped me this link, a timeline of 1999, everything about it. Good video. I liked the deck. I watched some more of the stuff afterwards because I like their channel now. So he put me onto a new channel, but this was just misinformation. I'm pretty sure the guys, I want to say that they made a mistake. I want to hope that they didn't say Undertaker and Owen Hart. They were supposed to have a match just to make some lame ass joke because it's The Undertaker and it's Owen and he dies and they're just trying to, oh, look, irony, right? But yeah, this dude is citing it, and I'm like, nah, bro, they got their information wrong too. He wasn't supposed to face the Undertaker that night. Undertaker fought Austin that night. And he's like, no, bro, how are you gonna tell me? You're gonna tell me they're saying it? And I'm like, I had to actually go find the video with Owen and Godfather that night. Because when I showed him the Wikipedia link, it was like, Wikipedia lies. I'm like, oh my God, I'm being trolled right now. And he was dead serious because he gave me a link to 1999. So he's giving me a link. So I'm like, okay, so you're dead serious. I had to go to the WWE network, actually cut a fucking excerpt out of it just to show him the fucking title card. And then he never responded back. I'm like, come on, bro. Don't do that, man. If you don't know your information, bro, especially when I'm outwardly telling you, I am a wrestling fan, a die-hard, hardcore wrestling fan. I've been watching wrestling every week, non-stop damn near, for almost 25 years. I've been watching wrestling overall for nearly 30 years. I'm telling you, you're not going to debate me on a topic like this. He was supposed to wrestle The Godfather. And I see wrestling fans do that a lot. That's not the first time someone tried to correct me on that also. I remember someone tried to correct me. This was a long time ago, a couple of years ago, when someone was trying to tell me something along the lines of, oh, Undertaker, what'd they say? They said some shit, they got the two confused though. They were telling me some shit oh no, it was Jericho. They're using Jericho out of all people too. They're telling me, no. I remember this match with Jericho and Bret Hart and Vince McMahon screwed him over. clearly they're talking about Shawn Michaels, and I'm like, nah, bro. He was like, yeah, man, yeah. It was Jericho, and it was Bret Hart, and you know, Vince McMahon, and you know, the ring and the bell shit. He's talking about the Montreal screw job, but he's referencing Jericho rather than Shawn Michaels. And I had to tell him, like, nah, bro. One, Jericho was nowhere near close to being that big of a name to even be in a position like that. Two, he was wrestling for WCW at the time. Like, no, it was Shawn Michaels. And at least with him, you know, he looked it up. He was like, oh, yeah. I forgot. With this guy, he actually tried to argue me to death. I just hate shit like that. Don't do that. That's cringe. With that being said, though, let's go into the Smackdown review. I just had to talk about that. All right, so we got the dumpster match coming up in a little bit. Got a nice little promo to build up to Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu to take on Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Things that you've already seen before, building up for tomorrow on Saturday. So we got to talk about this match with AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes. So first things first, let's talk about the introduction. AJ Styles came back. Nice, you know, little appreciation for AJ Styles. I guess he's a face now. Got a nice little small pop. You know, the fans were cheering their heads off. They're happy to see AJ Styles back. AJ Styles pretty much confirmed that now he's a babyface by kind of, you know, reflecting off of his past actions these past couple of months. And essentially, he just confirmed the fact that, yeah, I regret everything that I did, and I'm back to pretty much rebuild myself. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the match. Afterwards, Carmelo Hayes came out, pretty much made fun of AJ Styles because of his age. Oh boy, all right, he jinxed it, didn't he? He made fun of AJ Styles based on his age, pretty much talking about how his age is a detriment to himself. Again, we'll get to that a little bit later on. And, you know, mocked him, say that, hey, maybe you should come back to sign a Legends contract. I don't think you're ready for this type of shit, right? AJ Styles, you know, pretty much made fun of him back. He said, hey, if you're this big shot, why didn't you win the United States Championship? Carmelo Hayes retorted back, well, if you're a big shot, why didn't you win the WWE Championship? AJ Styles said, well, we can just cut the bullshit right now. Let's just have a match. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes, being a heel, turned him down as he's walking out to the ring, or walking out towards the corridor, or the aisleway, excuse me. LA Knight came out and got a nice little pop. Pretty much told Carmelo Hayes, you're going to fight AJ Styles because you have two choices. Either A, I come down there and I beat the shit out of you, or B, you have the match with AJ Styles, and if you beat him, you get a United States Championship title shot. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes can't turn that down, and he has the match with AJ Styles. Everything was going well, everything was going fine, everything was going good, until AJ Styles attempted, I'm gonna presume, his little springboard moonsault into the reverse DDT he usually does. And something happened. Now, at first, I didn't even notice it. I just thought he was selling. You know what I mean? He messed up his ankle. You know, they went to commercial break, came back. The doctor started to check on AJ Styles. Again, I thought they were just selling, especially when Carmelo Hayes went right back to the single leg Boston Crab. Although I did notice he didn't really apply any pressure to it. I guess he thought AJ was selling too. That's what I'm going to presume. Eventually, he tried to go for a Ushigoroshi, the little flipping net breaker he does. And he put a lot of pressure on his leg. And as he did it, he fell down with the Ushigoroshi. Right? And then the doctors and then the referees came to the ring. They checked on AJ, and the referee called the match. And he announced that Carmelo Hayes is the winner of the match. And then afterwards, while AJ is walking up the aisleway, LA Knight he comes to the ring, hits his BFT on what's his name, Carmelo Hayes, and then he leaves the ring. So AJ Styles is clearly frustrated leaving the ring. He leaves on his own accord. He didn't get any help from the referees, no help from the security guards. He just left, and he looked really, really pissed off. It's weird. It's really weird. Like I said, there's like, I don't know, like I want to say there's like a 30% chance that he's working. You know, because again, it's weird noticing that Carmelo Hayes hit a single leg on him, but again, he didn't put any pressure on him for real. And it's just weird how the referee called the match, and then they immediately went to the commentators, and no one really touched AJ afterwards, and he left in frustration. So I think there's a 60% chance that he might not be working. So I'll say it like this. If he's working, then I don't really see what this is benefiting, considering they didn't really promote an angle after this. He just left the match frustrated. But if he's not working, this sucks. AJ Styles just came back from a break, and just to be put back in a situation like this, I mean, I know he was gone for a while to work Japan, and then I'm gonna assume he took a bit of a hiatus to rest his, I don't know, nagging injuries, I'm gonna presume. To rest your nagging injuries to come right back to an ankle injury. I mean, God, that sucks. That sucks, especially when he just cut that promo. One of his last promos he cut before he had the I Quit match with Cody Rhodes was, a mockery of him retiring. And, if it's a situation, you got to remember, AJ Styles is pushing 50 years old. I know people forget that sometimes because, he looks youthful, has a very bright, colorful attire. He still tries his best to do all the stuff that he used to do back in the days, which he obviously can't do. It does get to a point sometimes when you do have to ask yourself, is this it? I have nagging injuries, and then I rest up on those nagging injuries just to have this. And, the way they made it sound, it could just be a sprained ankle, and he could just be okay, and it was just a situation where, he couldn't put any weight on the ankle. Or there could be a situation that he really fucked up his ankle, and he's going to be out again for a good while, because, ankle injuries are a son of a bitch, you know what I mean? I'm not sure if Ember Moon had an ankle injury or something like that, but I know something related to that. It took her out for damn near a year. And it's like, man, AJ can't catch a break. He can't catch a break. Hopefully he's fine. Hopefully this was just some really, really gnarly bullshit that just happened to happen in the way that it happened. But if it is legitimately another injury, maybe there should be something that AJ Styles should start really considering. It's like he jinxed himself with that ankle injury, and in reality, again, well, you guys can have the conversation down in the comment section below in regards to how you feel about AJ Styles. Again, this is me presuming that he's not working. Again, I didn't see any reason as to why he'd be working. It's a cause for concern. It's definitely a cause for concern. Hopefully they give us an update throughout the show, but with that said, we got the dumpster match to get to, so let's get to that. Hopefully he's okay though. Okay, so maybe there might be a chance that this might be a work after all with AJ Styles. Now they're talking about going backstage and checking on his ankle and saying that he's at the hospital and all this other kind of shit. Yeah, maybe there might be an angle that they're trying to work right now. I don't know. I'm not sure who's gonna attack him or something like that. I mean, usually when they do stuff like that, it means someone's gonna attack him. So, okay, that's good. I was worried for a second. Thank God. So, we had the match with Chelsea Green and Mia Yim, and I'm not even gonna pretend as if I was looking forward to it. I mean, it was just a part of the show in itself, but you know what happened? And was it a good match? Not really. It lacked all kinds of substance, and it was way shorter than I thought it was going to be. I think there was only like one attempt outside of the finish. It was like one attempt to actually, put them inside the dumpster. They made note of the fact that the New Age Outlaws and Mick Foley and Terry Funk had their match at WrestleMania 14. And then they made note of the Dudley Boys, and I don't think they said X-Pac and Road Dogg, but that's who they had their dumpster match with at the King of the Ring back in 2000. And I didn't even know this was a fucking thing. I kind of do remember the angle of Braun Strowman and Kalisto. I sort of kind of remember the angle, but apparently they had a dumpster match also. I can tell you, I don't know too much about Kalisto and Braun Strowman, but I know the first two dumpster matches, they were fucking fantastic. And this match, yeah, this was a no bueno for me. I will say though, I dug the finish. I mean, one thing that hurt this match was they were just way too gimmick heavy. I'm never talking about weapons gimmick heavy. I mean, like, oh look, I have dumpster colors on, and Piper Niven interferes, and she looks like a damn marshmallow. She has like the dumpster clothes on. It's like, like if they were trying to make this a little bit more serious, maybe I would have took it a little bit more serious, and maybe I would have cared a little bit more for it. But it is what it is. They should have brought back out that music guy who introduced AJ Styles. Fucking Noah Sampson cosplaying over here. Fucking Dr. Disrespect's twin brother. I mean, maybe they're the same also. Maybe they both touch little girls. I don't fucking know. But maybe they should have brought him back out here. You know what I mean? I mean, country music is pretty trash anyway, so it would have fit the setting, right? But, you know, it is what it is. Mia ended up putting the table across the dumpster, and then like she power bombed Chelsea Green into the trash can through a dumpster. Botch! I said that wrong. She power bombed her through a table inside of the dumpster, and you know, you would think something that was kind of brutal when you think about it, and even the imagery looked kind of brutal. You would think that, you know, Chelsea Green would kind of like sell it a little bit, but no. She has to stick her head out of the trash can to reveal that she was, you know, covered in filth, which was dumb because Mia Yim was also in the dumpster when she powerbombed her into it. As a matter of fact, Mia Yim was in the dumpster originally when Chelsea Green almost won the match. You know, the first and only attempt outside of the finish, and she didn't come out with any goop or trash on her, so, you know, it was just a goofy match. I mean, I guess no harm, no foul, but, you know, I don't know, I was just stupid. I don't know. I don't know. I will say this though, god damn, yo, real talk, never really noticed it. She doesn't really have the body type that I would usually fuck with, but I don't care, bro. Mia Yim was looking bad as fuck with that outfit on. Whoo, man, she looked bad as fuck. God, diggity damn. I would have, ooh, boy, give me 5 seconds. Yo, give me 5 seconds. Yo, I know Keith Lee ain't hitting that right? I know Keith Lee, his ass can't stay healthy. He can't even stay healthy for 3 days, trust me. Yo, Mia Yim, hit me up. I got you. If Keith Lee, he going through some type of heart problem, I got you. I got the heart to handle you. I got you. Call me. Hit me up. Don't call me. All right, let's continue on. Bayley's gonna talk to Nia Jax or whatever. They did have like a promo segment with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and Naomi, and you know, they said they're gonna host the fucking Bad Blood show tomorrow. Who cares? Let's get to the next show, okay? Then let's get to the next segment. It's Bayley, and it's Nia Jax. All right, we're good. Okay, you caught up. Let's go. All right, so we're setting up for the tag team ladder match coming up next. I figure we should at least get this last segment out of the way to talk about. They're going to dedicate a lot of time to this, it looks like. It's only 9:27. I'm not sure if it's going to be a lot of time dedicated to the match in itself, or are we also going to get an angle tied into this in the end of the day. Remember, tomorrow night is Bad Blood, so I am excited to see this, not just from the basis of the ladder match in itself, but again, what happens after the match. Hopefully we get something happening after the match. Put a bow tie on a match that I think is going to be really, really good. But nevertheless though, right? We had this little promo battle between Bayley and I'm gonna say Naomi, Nia Jax. And it is what it is, you know. I uploaded a short already on it, but like so it was a little bit of a botch. Nothing that was too bad. It was innocent. It's not that big of a fucking deal, but it was funny. You know, it was a botch, but also I will say this before I talk about what Tiffany Stratton said. Bayley, bro, I get that you're trying to hype up your match with, you know, Nia, but like, can you not exaggerate, bro? Like, you insult your fans' intelligence when you say stupid shit like you said in the ring, bro. Like, there's two things that she said. Now, I know some wrestling fans, some of you guys may be too young. Some of you might not even, you might not have even been born, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not your fault. That's your dad's fault. He should have put it in your mom a lot earlier. Don't blame me. But hey, check it out. Bayley said, because she was going down a list of women who apparently made that title, which obviously is the lineage from the women's championship, made that title on Nia Jax's arm. She said waist for some reason. That they made that title feel special, and she went down a list of women. She said Molly Holly, right? She said Victoria. Okay, fine. And then she went down a long list. She said Beth Phoenix, right? Eventually, she got the Trish Stratus and Lita. Okay, so I'm going to help Bayley out here. And I'm going to say that 3 of those names on that list do not deserve to be on that list. And it's not Lita and it's not Trish Stratus. See, unfortunately, back in the Ruthless Aggression era, maybe, you know, you could probably say in particular, maybe 2004 going forward, yeah, none of the women mattered. None of them mattered. None of them. If it wasn't involving Trish or Lita, none of them mattered. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If it wasn't a Bra and Penny's match, or if it wasn't Trish and Lita, none of that shit mattered. Okay, they made fun of Molly Holly a bunch of times. She barely got any time in the ring. lots of times. Victoria, for a minute there, she had a bit of a story with Trish Stratus throughout the latter portions of 2002, but once you get to like after WrestleMania 19, yeah, she didn't matter either for the most part as the women's champion. In fact, even when she was defending the championship on Raw, she didn't matter either. Beth Phoenix, she was too busy losing matches to Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres to ever fucking matter with the women's championship. Now, I know we have to have this revisionist history when it comes to the divas, but this is just me reminding you that in the end of the day, none of those women mattered unless their names were Lita or Trish Stratus. Being honest, just being honest. I know some people might hate me here and there, might hit here and there. I don't care what you like to hear or what you hate to hear. It's what you have to hear. But going forward, she also brought up some other bullshit. She said Nia Jax is a dominant women's champion. Now, again, I know I'm getting older and my memory is getting foggier. The days go on, days go by. It's the clearer word for, how does the lyrics go again for Family Matters? Whatever. My point being is though, no. Okay, my mind is very not that foggy. She won the championship out at SummerSlam, Bayley. That's barely 2 months ago. That's like, what, maybe 60 days at best? She is not a dominant champion by definition. In fact, I could be wrong. I mean, again, I'm looking at my arm right now. It's midnight. Last time I checked, she had how many matches on pay-per-views with the women's championship? In fact, how many title defenses that she has so far? Again, don't insult a motherfucker's intelligence while building up your match. Okay, build up your match without making me feel like I'm a dumbass. Don't do that. I like not feeling like a dumbass. Okay, thank you. But Tiffany Stratton kind of butts herself in. She tells Bayley, because one of the things Bayley said was only 2 people could take that belt for Nia Jax at this moment, her tomorrow night or Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton said, hey, because Bayley also made note of the fact that she couldn't beat her without the briefcase. Tiffany was like, I can beat Nia without the briefcase. All right, Pam. This motherfucker called Bayley by her shoot name. Like, you gotta be, bruh. Again, it's not that big of a deal. It's an innocent little botch. You even had Michael Cole on commentary. Sound like he farted, but in reality, he was snickering. Bruh, Tiffany, come on, Tiffany, naughty Tiffany. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. At the end of the day, Tiffany was looking bad as fuck. Bayley, always looking bad as fuck. Wish she would wear more tight jeans. In fact, I'll be honest with you. I'll smash Nia Jax also. Call me crazy, okay? I know some of you guys may say to yourselves, Devontae, that's a little bit too much meat. Okay, trust me, I can handle all that meat. I can handle. Damn. You get what I'm saying. Pause. But we go on to have the match with Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. And it was actually a pretty good match. Tiffany Stratton, I mean, outside of the botches with her promos, she's really good. I can't stress this enough. I mean, I've always been a big fan of her in-ring work. That fucking, although I will say, Naomi, maybe you might want to take a peek at NXT and not do people's finishers as your regular moves. I know some of these wrestlers nowadays, they just do whatever they want to do inside the ring. But back in the days, people used to watch tapes and avoid shit like this. That's Keilani Jordan's finisher, okay? Now, I don't know if Keilani Jordan needs a better finisher, which one may argue she might need a better finisher, considering she's doing Rob Van Dam's secondary finisher with the split-legged moonsault. But, Naomi, just saying, she's kind of doing that move already. Maybe not do that move as your regular move. Just call me crazy. I know. Maybe I'm being a stickler. But I like that little spot that Tiffany Stratton did. She did 2 things that are actually really cool. That fucking, she caught Naomi in midair. Well, not midair. I wouldn't say that. But she rolled out of it. Like how Johnson used to roll out when people used to do the crossbody on him. And then he sets him up for the AA. She did that. That was really cool. And I like that prettiest moonsault ever she does. And then like she spins out of it like Andrade before he hits another moonsault. That was really cool. And then she immediately did a head spring and elbow into the corner. That was really cool. I liked all that. Naomi did get the win, with a roll-up, because 2 things happen in professional wrestling that will always happen to the end of time. Roll-ups and beating the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Always happens. You can't get over it, right? For some reason, it was kind of weird. She beat her with a crucifix roll-up, and for some reason, Tiffany Stratton sold it like she got hit with a finisher. Really, really fucking weird. But nevertheless, though, it was a fine match. The promo was funny as shit. Bayley needs to stop it with the capping. With that being said, let's get into the main event. Triple threat ladder match. Tag team titles on the line. Give me something to go home with. Tomorrow's the pay-per-view. Help a brother out. Okay? Okay. Continuing on. All right, that was fun. That was a really, really, really fun main event. I really liked that match. That was that was way more brutal than I thought it was going to be. Like, you know, this wasn't even really like a ladder match. I mean, it was a ladder match, but somehow, some way, in like the middle of all this kind of like turned into a TLC match, technically, with all the stuff that they were using inside the match. This was chaotic as fuck. To be fair, I'm not even going to lie to you. I knew the match was going to be fine, but like, this match was way more brutal than I thought it was going to be, just considering how much time they had left and the commercial breaks in between. It didn't affect the match at all. This was actually really, really fucking good. So like, some of the more notable spots that I can remember from the match, that was crazy actually. It doesn't really seem like it, but then when you actually watch the match in itself, I could tell also to a certain degree, they were kind of influenced a little bit from the first TLC match at SummerSlam in 2000. I noticed a lot of spots that they were kind of mimicking. They didn't follow through with the same kind of spots in TLC 1, and obviously this doesn't come anywhere near close to TLC 1, but it was good though. It was solid. I like the little plancha over the top rope from Angelo Dawkins when he kind of like sacrificed himself. He did like a plancha over the top ropes onto the Bloodline when they had the ladder inside their hand. That was actually very brutal considering how big he is, and you know, hitting a dive over it and then hitting the, that was good. I like that. I like the little block. I mean, it kind of botched it a little tiny bit, but it had the effect when Montez Ford did like a Jeff Hardy leapfrog over the ladder, then he connected with a blockbuster on one of the it was on Tommaso Ciampa. I like the spot also where DIY pulled off one of the Tungans off the ladder, and when they pulled him off, they kind of hit him with like a shatter machine off the ladder, and nailed pretty perfectly too. It was another dope ass spot when they started to double team up on the Tungans, and you had Montez Ford hitting the frog splash off the turnbuckle to the outside of the ring through I think Tonga Loa through a table. That was nice. I like that. They followed it up with the Shields looking, because at first, before they all started triple team on it, this is what I mean when I say they were trying to do the whole SummerSlam 91, yeah, right, this wasn't 91, the SummerSlam, the first TLC match in 2000, because it was a spot with Lita getting involved in the match with Edge and Christian, and like, it was a spot where like Lita was trying to help up Matt Hardy, and then Edge ended up spearing her, and then like the back of her head hit the ladder. None of that happened to B-Fab. That would have been fucking, if that would have happened, holy shit. But it was a spot where like B-Fab did involve herself in the match, you know, where she took the chair away from Tama Tonga when he was going to use it on Angelo Dawkins. I guess I wouldn't necessarily say that was like SummerSlam, you know, 2000, considering that, like, you know, maybe I'm exaggerating a little tiny bit, but when she took the chair out of his hand, and then the DIY, they had a chair, and then they started to beat down the Tongans. But that's what led up to the Montez Ford frog splash off the turnbuckle through the table on Tonga Loa, and then they ended up hitting Tama Tonga with the Shield powerbomb through the announcement table. So that was good. And then both guys, the DIY and the Street Profits, they started to battle up on top of the ladder. There was like two adjacent ladders from each other leaning on top of the turnbuckles, and Montez Ford and Johnny Gargano, they went off of one side of the ladder through a ladder that was inside the corner, and then there was another one with a ladder in the corner where Tonga Loa pushed the ladder over, where Tommaso Ciampa and Angelo Dawkins was on that side, and then they went through the other ladder that was laid up into the corner, and then both of the Tongans went up on the ladder. Well, I guess Tonga Loa went up on the ladder, and then he grabbed the tag team championship belts down. Again, this was a solid ladder match. I liked it. It is crazy though when you think about it. Just in 1 year alone, they went through how many ladder matches? 4 ladder matches. They had the first ladder match obviously at WrestleMania. Then he had the second ladder match, well, I guess both ladder matches at Money in the Bank, and then you get the ladder match right here. This is starting to catch up on 2001. 2001, in my opinion, I think that had the most ladder matches in one given year, right? You had the Royal Rumble 2001 with Jericho and Benoit, right? Then you had WrestleMania 17 with the TLC 2. Then you had the Fatal 4-Way TLC on SmackDown with Jericho and Benoit. Then, before that, actually, in 1 week, because you had the ladder match also with Benoit and Angle in the 2 out of 3 Falls match, right? Then he had the ladder match with Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam at SummerSlam in 2001 for the Hardcore Championship. Then he had another ladder match with Edge and Christian at No Mercy in 2001. Hell, they're starting to catch up on 2001 in regards to the ladder match. Like I said, though, this was a fine match. I wouldn't say fantastic, but it was good. This was a solid main event SmackDown, getting you hyped up for the pay-per-view. My only, again, and I was hoping that they were going to do this. They didn't do it. And it's not like it affected the show necessarily. It's just something that I wish they would have touched on because, again, we are going into the main event. And I hate when, because you have it right there. Like, you could do it. All you have to do is shave off, like, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Or maybe have the match start up 2 or 3 minutes before all this, occurred. It would have been nice if there was something involving, Roman and Cody. Maybe Roman and Cody could have, beat the hell out of, this could have been a pre-tape segment, like maybe you have Roman and Cody beating the hell out of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa backstage while the Tongans are in the ring, and they could have ran backstage, and then you could have had maybe them lifting them up and Tama Tonga and Tongaloa helping up Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, and them yelling in the distance, "We're gonna find out on Saturday. We're gonna get you guys on Saturday." That type of shit. Something along the lines of that. You know what I mean? But or hell, maybe even the Tongans beating the shit out of Randy Orton, or not the Tongans, but maybe Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa beating the shit out of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens backstage just to send a message. You know what I mean? Something along the lines of that. It would have been nice if there was some kind of, what would you say, cliffhanger, I guess. Because it's not like we're building up for SmackDown next week. The build up for SmackDown is going to be what happens in the main event with Cody and Roman and the Bloodline. I will say this: as good as that match was, I wish they would have done a lot more to promote the main event going into the pay-per-view. That's a really big point for me. You know what I mean? They didn't do that, and that sucks. And honestly, this has to be one of the worst built main events I've seen in a while. Being consistent here, you're gonna highlight one thing, you gotta highlight the negative about it. This has got to be one of the worst built main events I've seen in a while. No Cody Rhodes sighting. I don't think we've seen Roman Reigns on television for 3 weeks. That's kind of the problem that you have with Roman Reigns. And I wish they would have done a lot more to build up to the pay-per-view, is all I'm saying. I know some people are going to be like, "Oh, Devontae, you shit on WWE for everything. All you do is complain." Bitch, I just put over the main event. All right? Calm your pussy ass down. But overall, though, this SmackDown, it was fine. You progressed a couple things. A couple of, I will say it was more of a mixed show. More positive than negative, but definitely more of a mixed show. They never really followed up. At least I didn't see it. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't follow up on the AJ Styles stuff. That would have been nice also. They did follow up on Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, though. Tiffany Stratton went backstage and then Nia Jax confronted her, and she was like, "Hey, you better cash that briefcase on Liv Morgan where you have a chance, because if you try to cash it on me, you ain't gonna survive. Now, do I have your word? You're not gonna cash in on me?" And then Tiffany Stratton was like, "You're my queen. I'll never do anything like that to you." And then she walked away. It is what it is. It is what it is. But that's going to do it for SmackDown. Not a lot of things to really push as far as talking about in the review in itself. Nothing really notable happened as far as storylines, in my opinion. Honestly, outside of really the women's match, when you really think about it. So, the build kind of sucks. But, hey, still a solid show. And don't forget, tomorrow we have Bad Blood. Obviously, I'm going to be here to review the show, obviously. And don't forget, tomorrow I will have predictions up in the community post. Be aware of that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to SmackDown. Again, sorry, I know it's a short review, but there's really not much to talk about outside of what the hell they produced tonight. You only had 4 segments, really. You had stuff promoting the United States Championship. That was good with AJ and LA Knight. You got the women's stuff, and the dumpster match with Mia Yim and Chelsea Green, which wasn't really all that good in my opinion. And then you got a killer mini event. So it is what it is. Life goes on, right? But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. Go smoke something, chill, relax, max, all that good shit. I remember back in the days when we used to, I will say this though. Can I just say this before I leave? I will say this. I just remember back in the days how when we used to actually build up the pay-per-views, you know, you got some killer ass song building up in the background, you know, maybe something along the lines of, you know, 12 Stones, or, you know, Trust Company, or Saliva, or Drowning Pool. And, you know, it does suck nowadays. They were building up the match card and they were going towards the pay-per-view, or showing you what was going to build up to the pay-per-view. And it's like you get this stupid hip-hop music playing in the background. And God, man, the presentation for wrestling nowadays is so garbage, man. I just wish you guys would understand how wrestling used to be back in the days, when you get like a killer angle happening. I mean, again, I'm not shitting on the match. The match was fine, but, you know, you get a killer angle, you know, building up, you get the match card with some kick-ass rock music, and man, it makes you really, really long for some of the golden days of professional wrestling. But I guess those days are over. Gotta settle into the new generation when it's all said and done, right? I just asked one time, just give me some kick-ass rock music and give me a kick-ass closure, but it is what it is. Let me get the fuck up out of here. I'm rambling on right now. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. A deuces and a P eyes.